Hey everyone, thanks for joining us here today at Book Blather. If you're new here, I'm Dave, this is Olive, and we talk about the books we've read recently to help spread the joy of reading. Today we're sitting out by the garbage because that is what we're talking about. Trash. So we're doing our recap of week 1 of GarbAugust, which is, if you don't know, is a reading event this month where throughout the month of August we read nothing but trash. So hopefully you're doing it along with us. If not, it's not too late to join. The only rule is you read some kind of trash during the month, but there are prompts each week to help you along the way if you want some guidance. So we just finished off week 1, and the prompts for week 1 was to read either a men's adventure or a category romance. So we have 3 things to show you here that we finished this week. The first one was we did a men's adventure. And this one is The Man of Bronze, Doc Savage, The Man of Bronze, by Kenneth Robeson. And this was originally published back in 1933. They've even made a movie out of it now. There's in this copy. There's actually some pictures from the movie in this paperback. There's some of his helpers, his little posse that Doc Savage has. So this is The Man of Bronze. This is the first one in Doc Savage series, if you can call it a series. I believe there are over 100 of these now. Like with some other men's adventure, these used to be mass produced at the time, almost like comic books. They were, 1 week it would be on the spinner rack, and then a couple weeks later that'd be gone, the next one would be out there. They just pumped them out really quickly. And so we wanted to try this Doc Savage for a while because we've heard Michael K. Vaughan over on his channel talk about Doc Savage a lot. So we decided to give it a try. And we had a lot of fun with this. This poorly written. The writing's not great. But this is one of those books where, although we normally care about that, we did not care with this one. Just because it was a lot of fun, really, really fast moving. So this is super action-packed. So it starts off right in the beginning. We're not going to spoil it, just give you a flavor of what it's about. It starts out right in the beginning. You meet Doc Savage, and you meet like his little posse. He has this group of 5 guys, and they're all like really tough and really, have expert knowledge in different things. Like one might be an expert geologist, another an expert chemist, and they have one like expert in the law. They have all these different talents, and of course they're all super tough, except for Doc Savage, who's the toughest of all and knows more about everything than all of them. So Doc Savage is a ridiculous character. Okay, he's not a superhero in the traditional superhero sense, but he's like a superhero. He's incredibly tough. He can beat up like 15 guys at once and then run off and fly a plane to some foreign country, and then when he gets there, mix some chemicals to create some crazy concoction. So he knows everything about everything, and he's the toughest guy on earth. So it was a lot of fun, and you could even see, even right from the cover, he looks like an action figure literally on the cover there. And so that's what he is. He's like a crazy, super powerful, skilled guy. And so this was a lot of fun. It starts right off in the beginning where you meet him and his five friends, and this is right at where his father has just mysteriously died, and his father has left him this huge tract of land in Hidalgo, in Mexico. And so right in the beginning, it immediately kicks off with, they're talking about his father, and somebody tries to kill them in their city apartment. I guess it was an apartment that they were in. Somebody tries to kill them there. And so the adventure starts right there. It starts right in the city, back and forth, trying to, catch who's trying to kill them. And then they end up taking a flight, and they go down to Hidalgo. And, a couple things happen along the way. They go down there, and, the people that were trying to kill them are these, like, strange-looking men, red finger-tipped. And it turns out they are Mayans from a lost Mayan civilization. So that's, so a lot of the story is that. They go down. I'm not really spoiling anything that happens soon. they go down there, and there's, you know, politics going on, and this lost tribe and everything. And so it's a lot of fun, and it's super, super action packed. It's just, I mean, it's so fast that it just doesn't slow down. And so there's a lot happening, keeps you engaged, and you can't put it down. I mean, we read it pretty quick. So even though, like I said, even though writing is bad, we like this so much, we're definitely going to read more of these. I already went and tracked down the books 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 on eBay. So those are on the way. So, and we got a couple random ones when we got the cheapest way to get this was to get it in a set with a couple other random ones. So we have a few more of these books, and a few more on the way, and we're definitely going to keep going. So look out for those reviews. Okay, the next book that we read is the other category. We did also read a category romance. So this is a Harlequin intrigue called Phantom Lover. This was very kindly sent to us by Crystal over at Fiber Artsy. And so, yeah, so this is there's a lot of Harlequin intrigues. That was a particular brand of particular line of Harlequin. And so we have never, ever read a book like this. And we wouldn't have if, you know, GarbAugust didn't happen and Crystal hadn't sent us this. So, by Rebecca York, whose real name is Ruth Glick. And this was published in 2003. And this is not normally our kind of book, and we've never read a romance book like this ever. But I have to say, we didn't dislike it. So, what this story follows this woman, Bree. And so there was this brother and sister, and they lived at this place called Ravencrest, which is like a gothic, seems to be like a gothic big estate right on the ocean, on these like cliffs, right? Very, very like atmospheric setting. And the brother lives there, and the brother has let some cousins that were down on their luck move in. And the sister does not live there, and our main character Bree is friends with the sister from college. So the sister, Helen, she asks Bree, you know, her brother's wife had died, and he's there with his daughter and the cousins, and she hasn't heard from him. She's worried something's wrong, so she wants Bree to go to the estate and check on things. And so Bree does that, and Bree goes, and of course the not twist, I mean the catch that you find out right in the beginning is that Bree had a short-lived love affair with that brother when she was in college 7 years ago. So now she's going back to check on things with this man that they had this whirlwind love affair, but she had to leave quickly because her mother got sick, and they didn't continue it. And then, you know, he ended up getting married. So now she's going back there to check on things, and there's different characters there. You know, the brother, Troy, that she used to have a relationship with is missing. But his daughter's there, the cousin and her husband are there, and there's a housekeeper and a groundskeeper, and so everybody acts strange, and the brother is missing, and so, you know, she goes under there under false pretenses, pretending that Helen had hired her as the new teacher, in-house teacher for the daughter. But this is a cover just so she can figure out what's going on. And so she goes, and as soon as she gets there, she has some late night encounter with somebody in the dark, you know, romantic encounter with somebody in the dark that then disappears, and so she doesn't know if it was him or something else. There's other stories about ghosts, you know, that were romantic, that encountered romantic tragedy, that live in the estate, and so, you know, there's this mystery of is Troy there, and who was this encounter with, and so it's basically, you know, it's this sort of paranormal romantic mystery is what it was. And so there wasn't a lot to it, but I actually enjoyed it. I was surprised that I actually enjoyed it. I was engaged. Once again, went through it pretty quickly, and I had fun with it. I don't know if I'd read any more of these. Like, I could probably only handle so many of these books, so there was, like, literally no substance to it. But it was fun. It was just for a good, like, I guess maybe what you would call, like, a summer read, you know, just like a fun, vapid summer read. And, you know, we had a good time with it. So if you like this sort of thing, if you're into these sort of books, I would recommend reading this. I can't remember if Crystal liked it. I think she liked it to some degree, which is why she sent it to us. But so yeah, might want to pick up Phantom Lover by Rebecca York if you like, you know, Harlequin romances. Okay, and the last thing is, we originally weren't going to do this. We were going to just stick with books, but we were inspired by Nick over at another BookTube channel to, he said, why not include, you know, he does comics too, why not include trashy comics? It was why we were watching his, Olive and I were watching his video, and we're like, that's a great idea. I mean, we read comics, graphic novels too, so why not talk about some of that trash? So we also read one of those this week, and this is The Pro. And you can tell right from the cover that it's very trashy. So this is written by Garth Ennis, famous, respected comic book author, and drawn and penned by Amanda Connor and Jimmy Palmiotti, who have teamed up for do a lot of things like Power Girl and Harley Quinn and stuff like that. And so, this was kind of like their foray into, okay, we're gonna put this like ridiculous thing out there and apologize for it for the rest of our lives. So that's what they're a little daring to begin with. So that's what this was, and this is the pinnacle of comic trash. So it was really kind of like it was really kind of like a one-issue comic, but it's in this prestige format, like, so that's almost like a graphic novel. I guess it seemed like it was a little long for, like, probably like a longer one-shot comic, you know. And what it's about is this main character you see on the cover. She is a prostitute, and there are these aliens that, you know, this alien is trying to prove that, you know, human beings who are still evolving, that any human is capable of becoming a hero. So they give her these superhero powers, and she's living a rough life. You know, she's works at Denny's during the day, I think, and you know, she's a prostitute at night, raising a little baby, and so all of a sudden one morning she wakes up with these special powers, and she gets greeted by the League. What is it? The League of Honor, it's just they're all the members of them are a parody of the Justice League. So like you can see down here, this is, instead of Batman and Robin, that's the knight and his squire, right? And so, but of course they're all like this sort of like the Flash, you know, he's like Speedo, wearing a Speedo. You can, hopefully you can see that. So that's kind of what this book is like. So this is incredibly raunchy. I mean, it's bad. So there's a lot of explicit sexual stuff happening in this. There is just tons of bad language in this, and there are just lots of different, you know, the stereotypes of every kind. So this book is pretty offensive. So if you are somebody that is going to be offended by any of that and any stereotyping or anything, don't read this, because you will definitely get offended by it. So it's pretty bad. There was no holds barred in this. It is super raunchy, and it's just that's the kind of book it is. So if you're looking for that sort of thing, I mean, this is gonna, you're not gonna find too much worse than this, you know. This was originally published, I believe, 2001, around then, 2001, I think. But it's come out several times. This is like the 7th printing that came out in 2016 when I got this. I wouldn't normally be picking up this kind of comic, but back then I used to go to, like, I was really into comics, so I was, you know, doing weekly. I was going every week, picking up the latest issues, and the comic shop owner, there was a lot of times they would push stuff on me, you know, like, you know, take this, you really like this, you'll like this. So he did that with this. He made me get this one, and and so I was a little surprised once I saw I mean, not totally shocked, you can tell from the cover, but I was surprised with how extreme it was. But this was in 2017. Paramount optioned this for a movie. I don't know what the status of that is. If anybody knows, let me know. But they bought the rights for. So I don't really know how you would turn this into a movie. Actually, that seems like it'd be pretty hard. but I don't know. If anybody out there knows, I'd be really curious to hear. And there was there was a sequel story to this, relatively recent. This is by Image Comics, and so in some Image annual or anniversary issue, there was a sequel story to this, like I forget what it was called, but and that was supposedly to be continued. So I guess they haven't let this story of the Pro die, but this was mostly one story. The bulk of the thing was one story, and then at the end there was like kind of a bonus story at the end. The Pro meets the Hoe. And that was, a side story of something that happened while she had these superpowers. So, Anyway, that's it. That's all I could say about the Superman issue. Like I said, I can't even show you most of the artwork in this because it's so bad. So that was what we read for the first. We had a pretty fun first week of GarbAugust. The Man of Bronze by Kenneth Robeson, Phantom Lover, A Harlequin Intrigue by Rebecca York, and The Pro by Ennis, Connor, and Palmiotti. I don't know how you pronounce his name, but Palmiotti probably. So, hope you're partaking in GarbAugust. Let us know what you're reading this month. We'd be always very happy to hear what other trash people are reading, and we'll see you very soon. And of course, we'll also see you for the week two wrap up. So we have a couple good things lined up for that. So, thanks so much for watching. If you read any of these, definitely let us know. But like I said, otherwise, let us know what you've been reading. And if you don't want to leave anything substantive, you can always leave Olive a puppy emoji. She always likes to see those. So thanks so much for watching. Take care of yourselves and each other, and we'll see you next time.